this is Becca DeYoung, Canadian artist living down under, and today I have some quick tips on how you can set up your art space for watercolors. So if you're like most people, you do not have a designated space where you can keep all your art supplies out all the time. I'm very fortunate, and now I actually have an art room where I can keep my stuff out. But just until recently, I was always having to put my stuff out and then clean up 25 minutes later when the kitchen table or whatever table it was that I was using had to be used for other purposes. So I discovered that when I had to do so much setup and cleanup, it really was a deterrent to getting my stuff out and to actually being able to do something for myself. So I have discovered if you only have 20 minutes to do whatever creative work it is you're doing, you don't want to spend 18 minutes of that 20 minutes just getting set up. So here's a few tips for you. The first one is go to a place like Bunnings and get yourself some MDF board. So this I bought at Bunnings. You can get it at Home Depot in Canada, and this is 6mm MDF board. It's really sturdy. It will work as an easel for you, and the nice thing is Bunnings will even cut it in half. So this is a half piece, here's the other half, and so then you get not one but two instant easels for the low price of $6.60. What a bargain, hey? The next thing that you'll need if you're working on a normal table is to get either an empty egg carton or to get an empty Kleenex box, and you just use this to prop up the top part of your easel. This way your work is on a nice angle, not too high, but it is much nicer to be doing your watercolors when you've got your work on a bit of an angle. Now I'm using an actual art table at the moment, so I don't need this, but I do use egg cartons in all of my classes. My next suggestion, nice reason why you want to use an MDF board, is when you're doing your work, you probably aren't going to be able to start and finish your work all in one sitting, especially if you're trying to just carve out 20 minutes for yourself during the day. So what I do is I tape down all my work. And that way, when it's time for me to finish and it's time to clean up because we need to make supper or whatever, I can pick up this board and store it vertically, and I don't have to worry about cat hair or supper or anything else getting on the paper. The other thing is your paper is less likely to warp, and the nice thing is when you have finished doing your work and you peel the tape off, you end up with really nice crisp edges like this, and it just really makes your work look a lot more like it's a finished work. And I love the fact that I can just pick up my board, I can store it up against the wall, I can store it in my bedroom closet. It doesn't matter where I am. I don't have to worry about that paper moving on me. Now, if you have nice big sheets of paper like this, what you can do is get two dog clips, and you can clip the paper onto your MDF board. That way you don't have to worry about getting tonight's pasta sauce all over it. However, if you don't have big paper, you don't have dog clips, don't even worry about it, because you've got a second MDF board and you can just use that as a lid. And this way, when my furry cat jumps up on my table where he's not supposed to be and he walks across my artwork, I don't have to worry about paw prints on my artwork. My second suggestion for you is that you find yourself a cutlery container to organize all your paintbrushes. This is an IKEA one, and it's got drainage holes in the bottom. So what I did is I just stuck a piece of paper in the bottom, and then I use paper towel rolls to just organize my paintbrushes inside. And you can organize them in any way that you like. It's just really convenient that way. If you have furry creatures in your house that love to steal your paintbrushes, you can easily get a container like this. This is actually for a roller for painting walls, and I just kept the container because then I can pop my paintbrushes in it and I don't have to worry about my fur baby stealing them. The next thing is you want to grab yourself some yogurt containers for water. Now I suggest plastic, not glass. You would not believe the number of containers I have broken using glass containers. So I always use plastic. What I do is I have 3 yogurt containers that I can just stack when I'm not using them, and I have 1 bottle of water. Now it's really important to get ones with lids. So I've got a bottle of water here with a lid. This is just tap water, and then I've got my 3 yogurt containers. And what I do is I set up my 2 containers next to my instant easel, and then I just put a little bit of water in each of them from this bottle. I keep the lid on this and I put it on the floor. That way I don't even have to worry about my bottles of water taking up space on the kitchen table that I'm using. Now, I always keep my dirty water closest to me and my clean water away from me. That way, when I'm absent-mindedly putting my paintbrush in water, I'm putting it in the dirty water, not the clean water. And remember, as soon as your clean water is not clean enough for a goldfish to live in it, you need to change your water. So as soon as you've killed your goldfish and you've got icky water, I just simply take my dirty water, pour it into my third container. I put a lid on that, I put it on the floor, and when I'm done, I use this water to water the plants. This way, when I knock it over or the dog walks by or my messy husband walks by, I don't have to worry about making a huge mess. And even if the water does spill, at least I haven't broken glass, so it's not as big of a deal. My last suggestion for you is on your instant easel that you're using, while you're doing your work, you just keep a little piece of blue tack or sticky tack or fun tack. It goes by all those different names depending on which country it is that you happen to be in at the moment. And I just take that tack and I just take the brushes that I'm using and I stick it right in the tack. And the reason why I've done that is because whenever I'm painting and I put my paintbrush down, it usually rolls away and then I can't find it. So if I'm keeping all my paintbrushes in the fun tack right there, it makes it so much easier to clean up, so much easier to find them, and I spend less time looking for those things. So those are my quick little tips for you today to help you get the most out of your art time. I would ask that you please share it and stay tuned for more tips, more previews to upcoming classes and workshops. And before you go, I have one quick little quote for you. This is from Pooh's Grand Adventure, and I think this is something we all need to remind ourselves of. You're braver than you think, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you believe. Keep on creating.